I play tested and I cannot wait for next season. Oh my god. It's just good note. Positive good note.
Hey everyone, Thordan Smash here, and today we are going to be talking about Conduit once again, as we know she is the Season 19 legend, although there are mixed stories about what her backstory, what her abilities are actually going to be. And so today we're going to go over what evidence we do have, and what evidence now seems to also be coming to the case, and what it actually means for the future of the legend and Season 19. We're also going to give out 45 bucks. All you gotta do is like, comment, subscribe. You guys know the drill, but without further ado, let's jump into today's topic. So as some of you may be aware of, we talked about it in a video the other day, and it was put out on Twitter that there was some new inside information that Conduit, the new legend for Season 19, is going to be Lifeline and Octane's daughter, and the internet kind of went absolutely crazy with it. Now, at some point, Kralrindo said that he did talk to a dev, and it does look like this isn't actually the case, at least not currently. Believe me, it's going to get a lot weirder. But originally, as you can see here, Kral actually heard from an inside source that that information about Conduit being Lifeline and Octane's child was actually accurate. They heard from an inside source as well that that was what the case was. So you have a situation where myself, Oz, and Kral had all heard about the lore in the story. In fact, you can see right here where I actually reached out to Oz saying, did you hear about the new legend in the connection with Lifeline and Octane, and how it had to deal with back to the future type of situations, which is talking about how the legend was going to be from the future and traveled back in time. And Oz said yes. And it's very important to note that me, Kral, and Oz all have very different sources on this stuff, so it is interesting that all three of us heard the same thing. However, there is one source saying that it is not the case, which leads to a lot of confusion. Oz then cleared up the situation, saying Conduit's situation has risen some reasonable doubts to whether or not everything being posted about her is true. It's simple: either everything that has been said so far will be the final product, or this was a previous version of her and now we play the waiting game. And he's 100% right about this, because something else that was also brought up by Oz is the fact that the leaked abilities, which were in my video the other day, were actually previous versions, which Kral also said. However, the leaked backstory is also most likely a former draft, and you can see the abilities right there with the stay down, bad doctor, and ult. So at one point this was a working idea of how Conduit would come to the game. In fact, we saw this exact same thing last season when Rev Reborn originally got some leaks about him. It was posted that he featured the ability to wall run, which is something that obviously did not come into the final version of the game. However, Respawn devs directly confirmed that when they were playtesting Revenant Reborn, they did try some iterations of him that had wall running. We've gone over this before actually a bunch of times, but when they are developing these legends, there's obviously a lot of stuff that goes back and forth between what we see and what is the final product. So it does look like the child of Lifeline and Octane is either a previous draft, or it is still possible that it's the final version of her that comes into the game. We really won't know until we get some more information, as there isn't going to be another big patch with a lot of stuff found in the new legend in the files. The only things we've seen so far is Kralrindo showing a banner pose that features Seer, where he signs an autograph and then waves it to her, which only lets us know that there might be some relation to Seer, or that they are a fan of autographs, because the other one is a finisher called Selfie, of where they take a selfie of themselves while they finish a legend, which doesn't give us a whole lot of insight and lore into their character. The other things we've known are obviously from Season 12, when we actually saw them still being playtested and worked on with their kits that dates all the way back to 2019. That is right, Conduit has been one of the oldest legends in work in progress in the entire game. In fact, they were first found in the files in the midpoint of Season 3 when World's Edge was introduced, and oddly enough, they were actually found in the files at the exact same time as Forge. I don't know if that personally means anything, but it would be very interesting if the devs are trying to rebuild the Forge hype by putting out a bunch of different information, none of which is the final product, very similar to what we saw with Forge being found in the datamine files. It's just a weird timeline thing there. Could mean nothing, could be something. The other thing that we also know about her, that there is a codename Mally in the files, and originally Vantage and Mally were the same person, and that's because they had the Rainstorm in the files being linked to Mally, and that had to do with Vantage's tactical. The other thing is Mally's tactical is called Zapper, and it fires an arc shot forward after a charge time, and that's basically Conduit's old ult, which we do know has been changed, and what made sense with what was found in the leak, as they have obviously tried different things. Along with that, Mally's dummy texture model has a West African theme to it, and seeing Conduit's model, it actually lines up with that. So there are a couple of solutions here. We could still in fact see Conduit be the daughter of Lifeline and Octane, although that seems like a previous draft at this point and not the final product. The other one is Mila Alexander, Crypto's sister, or we could end up seeing it be Big Sister, or it could be someone completely unrelated. The only latest I heard is that Conduit is still actually a shielder, but with some changes, and that the ultimate has actually been put back to the orbs or the arc shot across the field. But as this source says right here at the very end, who knows, they swap legend abilities around during testing like like crazy. So this most likely will be the biggest mystery for the remainder of Apex Legends Season 18 until we get Season 19. Let me know down below, what do you think will actually end up being the situation with Conduit, and who do you think she'll actually be, or at least connected to lore-wise? Also, don't forget to check out this channel right here by my editor Novell, who does amazing Apex Legends content. And until next time, Legends, keep slaying the aliens. I'll see you out there.